I literally thought at one point that this is going to be a struggle for me for the rest of my life, that I'm never going to be able to get out of this loop of despair. He wants you to fall into that loop of despair where he keeps trying to push these thoughts into your mind that, oh, you already tried so many times, there is no point in you even trying. Don't listen to that thought. That is just an intrusive thought coming from the enemy. You have to listen to God. How to kill lust the biblical way. This is the last ever video you're ever going to watch on how to break free from this sin. You know very well what I'm talking about. If you wouldn't struggle with this, you wouldn't click on this video. So this is the exact breakdown on how you're going to control lust. You have to first and foremost understand that lust is an identity issue. The reason you keep giving into porn, for example, it is because you went through some sort of pain throughout your lives, whether it is people treating you in certain ways when you were a kid or certain things happening in your life, and you learn to cope with this to get you out of pain and into pleasure. To really start off into starving lust, you have to understand that even the strongest men in the Bible were overtaken by lust. King Solomon was taken over by lust. King David was taken over by lust. Who are you there to think that you're going to battle it yourself, that you're stronger than this man? These people had everything you can ever imagine. They were the most wisest people that ever lived on this planet. I'm gonna break this into three topics. Number one, removing distractions. Number two, finding purpose. Number three, seeking accountability. And to be honest, number three is the most important thing. So, cutting out distractions. The biggest distraction is your phone. When you sit and scroll, you teach your mind to get dopamine from constantly sitting on your shorts. And let's be honest, most guys' For You page is filled with women shaking their butt, showing their breasts. So you're already tempting yourself. And for a lot of time, I thought that these women are going to be punished by God because why do they post those videos? No, no, no. The problem are not those women. The problem is you. You have to become the person that doesn't need that anymore. It's not about going on a straight 30 days straight, I'm free from porn. No. It is about becoming the man that doesn't need that. So how do you do that? First and foremost, you're going to delete TikTok. I don't even go on to that. You just must delete TikTok. There is no purpose for you to have TikTok on your phone. There is zero purpose in having TikTok. And I do not give a fuck about your excuses, about none of your excuses, because your mind tries to display all these excuses. And mine did as well, that I need TikTok for there. I can just search up certain things easier so that I can learn things. You don't learn. The only time you're going to learn is by investing into mentors or going on long format videos, because when you watch short form videos, you're not going to retain anything. So TikTok is off. Now when it comes about Instagram, you have to clear up your feed. And in here, you're going to get on your phone, just to show you a personal example. So this is my For You page. Now it's a guy talking about nutrition, but you're going to click three dots and you're going to click not interested. I want you to do that with every single video that comes onto that, so that you teach your algorithm that you don't watch those videos anymore. Now that you did that, what I want you to do is to start adding good habits into your routine. Start looking forward your diet, or just follow me on this YouTube channel where I'll go in depth on what is the nutrition that is going to get you the most results, and you're going to feel amazing by following it. So what I want you to do is start adding good habits into your life. You want to add in training, especially weight training. You want to add in walks, because this thing thrives when you're at home. Let's be honest. When you get bored, you give into it. When you're at home, that's when you give into it. Because when you are outside, you wouldn't do that around people. You wouldn't give into that scene, into that disgusting scene when you are around people. If you will do, you're mentally insane. But you're going to get outside and do 10,000 steps. I can promise you this habit alone helped me tremendously when it comes about quitting pornography. Another good habit is for you to get into work. If you wake up and you pick up your phone first thing in the morning and you scroll, you already fucked up your day, because you already given you dopamine without working for it. You haven't done anything. You just pick up the phone and just watch women online. Then you are just 100% making sure that you're going to give into porn later in the day. So instead of getting on your phone, you get in the Word. This is one of the greatest habits that you can do. It transformed my life. Besides waking up early, another very important thing is to wake up on a very early hour. For me, I started off by waking up at 5 a.m., but then I found out that 5:45 is the sweet spot where it still challenges my mind to stay in bed and to stay comfortable, but I don't listen to those thoughts. I also make sure that I get enough sleep so that I can perform throughout my business, so that I can perform throughout the day in the gym and in my life overall. So, getting in the Word. Don't have to pick up the Bible and read for an hour, but at least to make sure that you say a prayer and you start reading a chapter. Start off by reading a chapter. I can promise you this alone is going to start removing so much of the temptation. You're going to think so much clearer when you get in the Word before your phone. So you want to make sure that you limit your phone, especially in the morning, the first 2 hours. Don't be on your phone. If you do that, 50% you're already over this. Now, the second point is purpose. A man without purpose is always going to chase pleasure. And let's be honest, I've been always a super ambitious person that always had these goals, these ambitious goals of getting in the best shape of his life, getting in good health, being a provider, being a leader. And most likely you are the same. You have the same mindset. But this is something that just gripped you. And it is because you have these goals, but you don't have a clear system in place for you to achieve those goals. So having a purpose. When you wake up and you don't even know what you're about to do in your day, you're just playing around with yourself. You're going to give into it 100% because idle time is the devil's playground. Those are the moments when you get the most temptation, when you don't know what you're going to do. So when you have a schedule, and I highly suggest go on to my previous video where I talk about how to schedule out your days so that you have a structure of your days. You know when you eat, you have a frame on what you work. So that is going to allow you to get towards those goals that you want to achieve. Good, you have the purpose. Now, accountability. This is the biggest thing that helped me quit after 9 years. So I've been struggling with pornography from age 9 till age 18. It's only recently, since I quit 7 months ago, when I finally realized that I cannot do without Christ. And I needed to seek accountability. So what I did was text my friend, one of my close friends, and told him about this problem that I had going on for so long. Because I couldn't withstand my mind anymore. I was constantly giving into it. I was having massive anxiety. I was depressed. And I even thought about committing suicide at one point. I really felt this voice from God to send a message to my friend and tell him about my addiction. And so at the beginning, I was so hesitant. I was literally shivering to send a text. I was so afraid, but I sent it anyway. And then I was so emotional, so caught up in emotions that I even started crying. But once I did that, it's like the enemy just took a grip off me. It's like I finally felt that relief because for so long I tried in my own strength. I tried to win this alone. And that's why most men fall into it and they cannot control it because they try to protect their ego that they can beat this alone. But let's be honest, where have that mindset taken you so far? You still fall into it over and over again because the first time I wanted to quit this was at age 15 and I couldn't. I tried everything. I tried cold showers. I tried changing up my nutrition, training, all these things, all these good habits that I taught previously. But I was still giving into that. I was still giving into it because I was battling alone. I was thinking that I will be able to do this in my own strength, which I couldn't. So seeking accountability. I reached out to this friend and he kept me accountable. And the thing that the enemy wants you to believe is that you're never going to break free from this. I literally thought at one point that this is going to be a struggle for me for the rest of my life, that I'm never going to be able to get out of this loop of despair. He wants you to fall into that loop of despair where he keeps trying to push these thoughts into your mind that, oh, you already tried so many times, there is no point in you even trying. Don't listen to that thought. That is just an intrusive thought coming from the enemy. You have to listen to God. And remember, nothing is permanent. You can change it any moment. If you decide that you want to control lust now, so it will be. But a true decision comes only when you take new action. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting different outcomes. That is the definition of craziness. So please, this is the thing that is going to help you tremendously. Seek accountability. Then I also invested in my first mentor, and he taught me about emotional intelligence. So he put me on to waking up early. And at the beginning, I had massive resistance towards that. That I was believing that just waking up is not going to do anything. Trust me, if you can keep consistently waking up at a very uncomfortable hour, that is going to help you so much when it comes about this addiction. And not only, you're going to get so much more work done throughout the days. You're going to excel towards those goals that you have. So also, just by saying to my friend, it helped me a lot in the short period of time. But then I was still falling back into it. I listened to that thought that, oh, just one more time. And I listened to it, I gave into it, and then I felt even worse after being for 2 months free, which never happened before. So I was feeling even worse than before when I was giving it to it every single week or every single 3 to 4 days. You have to take this mindset out of your head of counting days. It's not about counting the days, it's about making the days count. So your identity should be tied onto God. When you focus on the God, sin is going to naturally leave you off. And another thing was to seek accountability from more people. So I joined a brotherhood, a Christian brotherhood of ambitious people all across the world. And what that really made me realize is that I'm not alone. I'm not alone struggling with this. And that's one of the worst things that the enemy can try to make you believe, is that you are alone into this, that you're struggling alone, that nobody else is struggling with this. Trust me, there are millions of dudes struggling with this. But a lot of them don't even work on it. They just say they want to break free from lust, but they still entertain the thought. And to back it up by the Bible, if you go into 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, you're going to find out that God says, take captivity of every single thought and bring it towards the obedience of Christ. So what does that mean? When the lustful thought comes, when you go into the gym, for example, and you see a woman and you look at her with lust, that's the moment where you already take the thought and bring it towards the obedience of Christ. You get into prayer and you already text your friend or your accountability partner about this temptation, and you start replacing it with a positive action. That's how you're going to break free from this. So joining this brotherhood taught me that there are so many other people struggling with it and I'm not alone. So that took off a lot of weight that I've been carrying on my back. So with these 3 steps, removing distractions, finding purpose, and seeking accountability, you're going to control lust. For now, I'm not even battling in my mind anymore. You're still going to have thoughts about certain scenes that come into your head, but you already learned the patterns that happen. You already have this awareness to the things that tempt you. You already have the awareness about your emotions, so you're going to learn how to regulate them, and you're going to have the accountability, which makes it the perfect system for you to control it. Remember, you will not succeed alone. There are certain cases where people manage to quit porn, for example, alone, but there is no point in you just quitting porn, for example, but in your mind constantly, every single day you still battle it in your mind. There is no peace in that. And I've been on this side too, where I went for those 2 months free, but every single day I was just battling it. Oh, I don't want to give into porn. Day 40 that I haven't given into lust. And so my identity was still based on a streak. But now my identity is tied onto Christ. So I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And how you actually know that you are going to see a breakthrough is that you feel that shame and that guilt. That shame and guilt that piles up when you give into lust, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that God is still working in you. That's the Holy Spirit trying to convict you that what you do is wrong and you still have hope to break free from it. So don't nag that voice. Don't try to push it away and continuously give into it. Listen to it. That's your compass. That's the thing that is going to guide you towards your freedom. So remember, focus on God and not on the sin, and sin is going to naturally diminish. I really hope this helped you out. If you have any personal question, please let me know in the comments and I will answer it to you. Also, don't forget to subscribe, where I will go more in depth on how to break free from lust. I'll go exactly onto the diet, onto the nutrition, the routines, the structures, everything you need in order to break free from this and become your highest self, to finally get to achieve those goals that you have in your heart, that God has put in your heart. You are so much better than this, and you deserve to finally control it. You deserve it. You've been struggling with it for so long. God didn't call you to struggle. God called you to be great. He called you to lead other people. And none of these things will be possible. It wouldn't be possible for me to record this video if I wouldn't have overcome this. It wouldn't be possible. It's all God's work. So if I could break free from it, you can break free from it. Anyone can break free from it. Trust in the Lord, and everything is possible.